Good evening. Welcome to the 9th Annual Curbside Couture. My name is Connie Fales, and I am the Clinton Museum Store Manager and Curbside Couture Mentor, Judge, and Enthusiast. We started this program almost a decade ago because we wanted to give our student designers a productive outlet for their creativity. And at the Clinton Foundation, we believe that it's everyone's responsibility to be a better steward of our environment. Curbside was created as a way to accomplish both, and we couldn't be more pleased with the program. Tonight is the culmination of months of hard work for the designers, models, educators, parents, and mentors. And this year, as we all know, has been exceptionally challenging as the result of COVID-19. But these students are resilient. I'm so proud of their determination and so pleased with the results. I'd like to thank our sponsors for their generous support of our student designers. Just a few more recognitions before we get started. The Educational Programs team at the Clinton Center works tirelessly every year to make Curbside happen. My most heartfelt thanks to Nate Thomas, Cherise Cross, and Cassie Exum. I'd like to also thank our communications team, Ben Pielmeyer and Molly Parker, my Clinton Foundation colleagues, Michelle Ross and Debbie Schock. And last but never least, our Curbside mentors, Kato Mamalu and Bryant Phelan. I adore serving as a Curbside mentor and always want to have one piece of advice for all my students. Do what you know, or in other words, be authentic. In art, and fashion design is art, it's so important to stay true to your voice and be authentic. I hope you will see that on the runway tonight. I'm going to turn the program over for just a minute to one of Curbside's biggest fans. After this short video, I'll come back and we'll get started with the show.
Thanks for tuning in for our 9th annual and first ever virtual Curbside Couture Fashion Show at the Clinton Presidential Center. More than 500 student designs have now been shown on the Curbside Couture runway, and I look forward every year to seeing the inventive ways designers use recycled materials to create innovative wearable art. I congratulate the designers and models who've worked hard to bring these creative, sustainable designs to life. And I want to thank all the educators, parents, and mentors who supported these students who are participating this evening. I am very grateful to Connie Fales and Nate Thomas and the staff of the Presidential Center who've worked now for almost a decade to give this opportunity to students all across Arkansas. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. I send my best wishes for a great show and many more to come.
It's time to get started with the show. We'll start with Cato and move to Bryant. I'll wrap up and present the winning designs.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Curbside Fashion Show 2020. We're still doing this amazing show. I've been here since the beginning, and every year it just gets different and better. So why not have a virtual show this year? I mean, it just goes with what we've been doing throughout the years. I'm excited to see the designers and thankful for all those that have come together to be creative despite of. This is going to be an amazing show, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Our first designer for the night is Aubrey Bernard. She's in 12th grade and she goes to Jasper High School. In her own words, my inspiration for this design is the abundance of mental health issues that have gone unnoticed and ignored. Mental illness is an epidemic that touches all social classes and will continue to harm our children if we don't come together, as it does affect children, teens, and adults. They all face it today. This disease has proven too many casualties, and it is time to take a stand, uplift, and empower. This is a beautiful design by Aubrey, and I think she really hit it on the nail. Our next designer is Crystal Gray. She's in the 10th grade, and she goes to Cabot Freshman Academy. In her own words, I grew up with butterflies. To me, they represent innocence. We all start off as innocent. As we grow, we can choose to lighten our path or darken our path. My dress has a yin and yang style to it. Life has both light and darkness in it. As we grow, we have to learn to balance the two. Crystal has it all figured out, and I think she's absolutely right. Our next designer is Julia Hawthorne. She's in the 8th grade, and she goes to Cutter Morningstar High School. This is our 4th year in the Curbside Couture Fashion Show. And this year, she wanted to share about her Native American ancestors. Julia's dress is made from old furniture upholstery and has some beads on the side from an old necklace. Her headdresses and her bow represent their survival. The headdress is made from turkey feathers, and her bow is made from an old hula hoop. Julia has enjoyed learning about her ancestors, and this is a great tribute. Our next designer is Sydney Leeper. She's in the 6th grade, and she goes to Mills Middle School. In her own words, she says, "All I can say is that I had lots of fun. I got inspired from Africa. The textures and patterns are colorful and beautiful. The dress is made of paper and scraps of materials. We tore apart material and laid patterns and textures to create a grunge vibe." You can tell she had a lot of fun with this. The colors do really show the textures and the colors of Africa, being from Africa myself. Great job, Sydney. Our next designer is Kristen Lehman. She's in the 11th grade and she goes to Nemo Vista High School. In her own words, "My bodice and underskirt are made from old feed sacks I found in our family's farm's feed barn. The bodice is decorated in old library books the librarian let me get before she threw them out. The VHS tapes and the CDs are elements from old movies she loves to watch. My purse originated from a long journey of digging through drawers at my house while spring cleaning. My favorite element of my overall design is, of course, my hoop skirt, which is absolutely fabulous. I love the headgear, the elements she put together to make this come together." Our next designer is Caitlin Gray. She's in the 6th grade and she goes to Mills Middle School. In her own words, "I made a football skirt out of cardboard, and what a magnificent skirt it is. I looked at buildings online to create the buildings that became the top part of my dress. I used markers, paint, and gold stickers to create the designs on the buildings, then taped and hot glued them together into a top." I think this is a great way to show another way to use cardboard. Our next designer is Allie Steliga. She's in the 6th grade and she goes to the Anthony School. Allie's design was inspired by climate change, and she said it really inspired her design, the movement, the fixtures. I love the elements that she's created using cork. She's made a cork bodice with a tie back, very fashionable. I love the movement on the bottom. You know, climate change, the climate is moving, the weather is changing, and our environment is changing daily. So I'm glad she was able to find fun with it, and it was a great piece. Our next designer is Zach Ridley. Zach is in the 8th grade and he goes to East End Middle School. With the help of his mom collecting a gazillion pop tabs, he knew that he was going to make an amazing vest out of it, kind of created some armor with it. The shorts are recycled material, up to 16-ounce Diet Coke labels held together with clear packing tape. The vest is made of pop tabs crocheted together, which looks like a lot of work. Then the shirt was water bottle labels glued into a t-shirt. We're saving the ocean and land by using products which could potentially end up polluting the ocean. Great job, Zach. Our next designer is Emma Claire Barnes. She's in the 6th grade and she goes to Fordyce Elementary School. In this design, Emma Claire began with her old worn denim jeans. In this design, she incorporated pieces of broken turquoise jewelry, her papa's old Western belt and buckle from Heston Stadium in 1981. Distressing and rebuilding her Western outfit using patches of Dolly's blue saddle pad, she added a final touch with a saddle pad messenger bag and her own painting of Dolly on the back of her jacket. I think it's a great Western look and she's modeling it fabulously. Our next designer is Lena Hansen. She's in the 8th grade and she goes to Episcopal Collegiate School. As a homage to the women of the past, I repurposed the pages from old history books where women were conspicuously absent and made them into paper chain dolls. I then created my garment to place them into the history books out of which they were unfairly written. The hoop skirt itself was made to represent a time when women were confined to an idealistic beauty and standard. It is made out of used hula hoops and paper chain dolls, both of which are historically girls' playthings. The futurist female sign is made of the binding of an old history book and recycled paper. Lastly, the tiara was my great-grandmother's and was passed down through our family of strong, independent women. There are 56 historic women represented, beginning with Cleopatra and Joan of Arc, and all the way through to Greta Thunberg. The other dolls are intentionally left blank to remember the countless women and their contributions that have been lost to time. I love that the skirt visually represents the idea that we stand on the shoulders of those that came before us. And as a woman, girl, Lena, hit it on the nail. Thank you.
Hey there, my name is Bryant Phelan. I am an Arkansas-based accessories designer. I specialize in sustainable handbags, and I love Curbside Couture because it promotes sustainability itself. Our next designer is Carolyn Baker in 7th grade from the Anthony School. She has a fabulous design. It was inspired by pride in accepting yourself in your own skin, and also to know that we're all connected even though we're different. I love that, and I love all the beautiful colors in this, and the message, I am enough. That's a very strong message for all of us. Up next is Corinne Casey, also in 7th grade from Pulaski Heights Middle School. Corinne is a fantastic follow-up to Caroline. Her inspiration for her design is about how we are all unique, just like all of the colors in the crayon box, which her necklace is comprised of. Her skirt is also very colorful, as you can see, and she's added some beautiful metallics and a gold rope belt and these gold boots. Great job, Corinne. Up next is a 9th grader from Pulaski Academy, Malia Anderson. Malia has a fantastic color story here with this beautiful green skirt she made from roofing material she found near her house, abandoned in a dump. Her dad helped her bring these back home along with a whirlybird from on top of a roof. She unfortunately wasn't able to make this work, but you know what? Sometimes you leave off that last accessory and it's perfect. Great movement in this skirt, Malia. Next up is Natalie Nutt, a 5th grader from Fordyce Elementary School. Natalie has this fabulous bright green dress and shield with BAM and Girl Power written on it. BAM is right for this color, honey. That is for sure. She said that she was inspired by comic books and girl power. I love this color particularly because it reminds me of Curbside Couture logo. Up next from Eastham East Village Elementary is Ava Prapura. She is in 7th grade. She has a fabulous dress to show us. She is made out of a bunch of beautiful garbage bags. They weren't beautiful when they started, but after taking much time, she has painted these to be a beautiful kaleidoscopic dress with a lot of movement. She enjoys some time around the Arkansas River like many of us do. She also made this out of a hoop skirt from one of her childhood favorite costumes and added graffiti art and a pop of color with a hand-painted top and jacket made from recycled articles from the New Yorker. She also has some accessories that she's made from cardboard, including some jewelry and a belt. Great job, Ava. Next up is Ariana Angel Alaya. She is in 6th grade and from Mills Middle School. I love this outfit that Ariana has put together. She was inspired by pop culture and popcorn, which she says that she loves, as do I, and actually the same brand that you wear too, Ariana. I love the headpiece that she's made here out of this popcorn and popcorn box we see from the movie theaters. She said that she was inspired to do a pop theme because she loves all of the terms and vibes of pop music, and it gave her the idea of making some type of pop project. She has popped perfection. Next up, another 6th grader from Mills Middle School, Alexis Mitchell. Alexis has a fabulous dress that she has constructed from over 200 coffee filters that she has dyed herself. She's perforated this dress so that she could run these wonderful LED lights through, her inspiration being constellations, the starry night sky. Alexis also has created an underside to this using newspapers that have been reinforced with duct tape to create more support, and the top and bottom were hand sewn together. Great job. This is a really fantastic piece, and I love the lights. Up next, a 5th grader from Fulbright Elementary School, Rowan Graves. Rowan has a passion for repurposing old clothes that are discarded and turning them into something fashionable, something many young aspiring designers do, I can assure you. Rowan added these dryer sheets that she hand dyed to the dress, adding to this ethereal look. I think you did a great job describing this, saying the ethereal floating effect of feathers, but also interlaced like armor. There's a bit of a softness and hardness to this, and I think that is fabulous in any design. Really fantastic job, Rowan. This is beautiful, and I love the way it flows. Up next is Clarissa Todor, an 8th grader from Cutter Morning Star. Clarissa has this fantastic piece that was inspired by loofah sponges because they are so heavily discarded. It looks like the necklace here is made out of little ties from around the loofahs, and the color variation in the skirt is fantastic. I love the different colors you've chosen and almost kind of a camo print, very updated and very fashionable. Thank you so much, Clarissa. This is fantastic. Next up, we have a team design from Episcopal Collegiate School. 7th graders Leslie Wallace and Virginia Brantley tackle a beautiful design they have made from water bottles. They painted these water bottles different shades of blue to represent the waves, the ocean, and how we hope that the pollution in them will lessen throughout these years. I really think this looks like a fantastic Chihuly piece. I like the way the different blues and the different thicknesses of the water bottle strips work together to create this great movement in the skirt. Great job, team.
The next designer is Mahaley Hamun, a 7th grader at Cutter Morningstar. This is her 2nd year to be in Curbside. The previous year she was just a model, and this year she stepped up to it and she is the designer and her own model. Her design for her skirt was made out of recycled curtain casings, a lot of fabrics sliced up, diced up, and tied up together. She put it with a blue t-shirt, but she wears those colors a lot, so that was the choice on that. She accessoried it with her little flip-flops, all fuzzy, and her hair ties. This is a team, Victoria Hale and Arlia Hendricks from Cutter Morningstar. They are both 6th graders. This dress is about the hurtful trash that gets dumped into the ocean and causes innocent animals to lose their lives from the plastic that they digest. Aaliyah wanted to tell people to recycle, pick up the trash from the ocean, and according to conserved turtles, 1 million marine animals are killed each year due to plastic in the ocean. This was their inspiration for their Save the Ocean dress. The next team of designers is Madison Dwyer and Bailey Ward, both in the 4th grade from Cutter Morningstar. Their design was influenced by the 1950s poodle skirts. They're calling this their umbrella skirt. They do have a poodle on the front of it, I see. Very perky and happy. It also has a little bling on the front that they thought would enhance with a little bit of glitter. Our next designer is Kendall Fox, an 8th grader at Cutter Morningstar. This is her 2nd time modeling and designing in Curbside Couture. She was inspired by the lessons at school that she was getting, learning about war. So she wanted to do something opposite of war, which would be peace. She says, when I think of peace, I think of butterflies and bright colors, because I think after every big bad event, there's always going to be something colorful and bright at the end, and butterflies are very colorful. So war and peace is what inspired my design. Designer Mia Jacks is in the 7th grade at Episcopal Collegiate School. Her design is inspired by saving the planet from pollution. The straws were added to her design because they pollute the sea and they hurt the animals. The Starburst packages were included because they are everyday trash that gets thrown away and is found in lots of kids' lunches, I think, but could be repurposed into something that was beautiful and artistic. I love the 3-tier skirt. It looks like maybe on your shoes also a little bit, and a nice touch on the back yoke of the neckline. Designer Alyssa Conklin is in the 9th grade at Momel Charter School. Alyssa is also the first person that we've seen who recycled her last year's or portions of her last year's Curbside entry. This is her idea. It's a collection of her birthday cards that she's collected since she was 7 years old, and it was the inspiration for this year's outfit. She used more than 240 curly ribbons to create more than 80 braids for the top. The skirt is made from lining that her grandmother had laying around with box pleats, recycled ribbon, and Christmas wrap. Finally, she used her collection of cards to make the gift bag. And I just want to say that technically, this was just an incredibly beautifully done garment in all pieces. Thank you so much. You did a great job. The next designer is Beverly Fan, 9th grade at Little Rock Central High. Beverly spent 30 hours in total making this. Very thoughtful time, folding newspaper, making hearts. Her inspiration were the fires that were in Australia. She wanted to do something to show the idea of love and support, not just fire. In conclusion, she noticed and learned that people from around the world gave positive support for them For example, animals and people were suffering, and people everywhere around the world sent money, donated supplies, or just being themselves and sent kind words. Even when there's so much bad, sad news in the world, she says there are amazing people who will always help. The points at the bottom of my dress represent people sending out their love in different directions. I hope we continue to spread our love and support to others due in the situation we are currently in. Our next designer is Christina Clower, and her model is Corey Clower. Christina has been down the runway with us before and continues to amaze us every year. This is a very functional, wearable garment that she could take out to any party or go to dinner with just the dress on. Since I found out about Curbside, she says, I've been inspired to create fashion designs totally out of recycled materials. Her family helped her a lot in saving all the elements that she used. Her goal is to stump the judges on the materials that she uses. She says she must get very creative in my design so that judges won't recognize what some of the elements are. She envisioned a queen wearing a full-blown ball gown skirt that opened in the front that could be removed and just be a simple dress underneath. The shoes belong to her mom. They're about 20 years old. She just added a little bit of bling to them. Her design is totally made from recycled materials except for the crown, which belonged to her grandmother, and the shoes that we just mentioned. She used an estimated 100 newspaper bags to make her outfit, and it is lovely. Thank you so much. Our final designer on the runway tonight is Violet Ward, a 6th grader at the Anthony School. Her design was inspired by the wildlife and the people who were affected by the Australian fires. Her uncle's family was deeply affected by the fires, and she wanted to honor those who risked their lives during the tragedy to save wildlife and people. These animals were innocent and put in danger by a human mistake, which cost both wildlife and human lives. She wanted to bring awareness to this so that other people could be inspired to take care of our Mother Earth. Violet's design represented a serious subject, but the jurors loved the upbeat presentation of hope and moving forward. Thank you for such a beautiful piece. I'd like to thank our jurors, Katone Wamalu and Bryant Phelan, one more time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of art in your system to go through all these and make the decisions that they do. We all think that everyone deserves an award, and we all think that all the students that participate in this put so much work and time in, and we thank you all. We wish you could get every single one an award. The awards are in the order of 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place. The first award goes to 3rd place, elementary school, $300 to Violet Ward. 2nd place, a $400 award to Ali Staliga. And the 1st place award, $500 to Alexis Mitchell. Middle school, 3rd place $300 award to Beverly Fan. 2nd place, $400 award to Lena Hansen. And the 1st place award of $500 goes to Zach Gridley. High school awards, 3rd place, $500 award to Aubrey Barnard. 2nd place, $650 award to Christina Clower. And the 1st place award of $850 to Kristen Lehman. Thank you very much. Congratulations to our winning designers and to each and every one of you for your commitment to this project. All of the student designers will receive copies of these quote books that encourage journaling. I hope you enjoy them. I'll close tonight with a thought I had just a few days ago. Each of the Clintons is a renowned author, and each has a book that is relevant to Curbside. Secretary Clinton's It Takes a Village perfectly describes how Curbside happens. So much goes into this. It's definitely a labor of love. Chelsea Clinton wrote, "It's your world. Get informed, get inspired, and get going." Our Curbside designers have done all three, and President Clinton's quote book, Be Brave and Chase Your Dreams, could be considered the official playbook for Curbside. In it, he says, even if you don't get what you think you want, amazing things will happen. So chase on. So I encourage you all to chase on. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.